Hi, guys. Welcome back to Marantz. Rantz, plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. This is a one-take session, no edits, no cuts, about GameStop, the warrants, and how I feel it's all going to play out. Now, it is September 27th, 2025. Hey, let's go for it. Let's remind you how great GameStop is. One thing you guys got to remember is GameStop is extremely intelligent on financial engineering, period. If you guys don't know what Ryan's been doing for all these years, I'll explain a lot of it here. Right now, here's GameStop. If they did issue today, it would be the equivalent of 14 million shares. But this is April 26th of 2021 when GameStop went ahead and issued shares on an ATM at the market equity offering, and they raised $551 million off of 14 million shares, the equivalent of 14 million shares today. And what did they do with that money? Well, with the 551, they actually paid off the $216 million on a 10% senior note that was due 2023. They paid all that off. So we were able to ride around in sunset, be on the internet saying, they're debt-free, they're awesome, blah, blah, blah. It is awesome because that 10% senior note was gone. That's good. That's good bookkeeping. But what GameStop did was they actually sold off those shares right there to the equivalent, and I have it written down, it's $39.35 per share. That's the price that they gave the market, and the market gave it back to them. Think about that, $39. They're very opportunistic, and they know exactly what they're doing. A couple of months later, GameStop did an offering in the run-up of June, because after June 9th, stock went crazy. They found some support. So let's go ahead and sell off. We all know that GameStop sold off 5 million shares, equivalent of 20 million shares. At that time, they raised $1.126 billion. And what was the average price? $56.30. Okay? That's the average price of the shares they sold. So double of what it is today, which is phenomenal. And we'll go to the next offering. Now, the next offering is here. It was in 2024. We were just $10 a month before. Now we doubled in value. We're on a run. And here you go. GameStop says, let's do it. 45 million shares for $933.4 million they raised. And they sold them at $20.74. That's good. That's good compared to what the market was just a year before. Somebody came in with $1 billion and we're fine, right? So raise all that money, but we didn't stop there. We went ahead and we raised an additional $2.1 billion just a couple of weeks later, and that average price was around $28 and let's look at my notes, $28.49. So $28.49 was the average share price sold there. Now, as you're inching up, okay, we're getting there. Then they raised $400 out of nowhere. This is the one that baffled people because GameStop they were like, wait a minute, it's September 10th. You didn't even need it. And it's so unfortunate that they disclosed this on the 10th, and that just happens to be the anniversary of Charlie Kirk's assassination a year later on that date. Ooh, scary. But I will tell you this, 20 million shares sold for $400 million, $20 a share. What that tells me, well, it sounds like a pipe deal. Sounds like they went ahead and found somebody that was ready to give up $400 million for the 20 million shares that we're going to offer, and they did it via an ATM, which is fine. They have investors, guys. GameStop knows what they're doing, but they're raising cash, right? Raising cash at all the right turns, and now you have these bonds. So a bond gets announced. We're going to go ahead and do a 0%, zero coupon. They're not paying any extra. They're getting free money, essentially. I always tell you it's free because it's not due until 2030. You give it right back, but you get to save all the interest you made off the bond itself. But chances are GameStop's going to dilute the float for all these shares and the way it's all going to work out. But what was the conversion on these bonds? The conversion came out to $29.85. That means per share on the bond itself, $29.85. Now, bonds are sold off in I get it in $1,000 increments, so it comes out to 33.49, 70 shares for every note. Get it? I understand. I'm just letting you know per share, it's at $29.85 is what they were selling them off for. Another bond offering came out the next quarter. GameStop shows improvements on everything. This is what comes out. We go in at 2.25. Elevated all the way to $2.7 billion. And what were they sold off at? They were sold off at a conversion of $28.91 per share. So listen to me, guys. We went from $20, $29, $20, $28, $29 per share. We are now engineering value for all these diluted shares. Guys, every time GameStop does an offering, they're diluting the previous holder. Now, I know some bag holders out here, hello, they go, hey, man, you guys are the bag holder. You guys are the ones getting diluted. And you're like, no, we're not. because we're buying with them. That's the difference with the warrant. See, GameStop is resetting their price. When they issue the warrant, they issue shares out to everyone. Everyone has the opportunity to exercise. And if you don't exercise what's given to you, well, then you're diluting yourself. That's a form of dilution. By not exercising the 10% given to you, they're giving 10% to everyone, and they're all able to exercise. But they're pricing it in. They gave it to you at a valuation of $32. Your float is going to be 650 million shares at $32. That gives you a good sweet price, 20 billion, 22 billion, 23 billion. What's the requirement to get into the S&P 500? But you're resetting this price at $32 a share for the whole market. But let's tell you why I feel it's beneficial for a lot of holders and for people to understand. Why do you do the warrants? Most companies that do warrants, they could even list warrants below the strike price of the current share price, and that's because they need cash now. They need it fast. They want to go grab it. Other people see an elevated price and they go, wait a minute, why is it so high? Are we ever going to get there? Yeah, you will. Maybe they need cash. Maybe companies are buried and they need cash. That's not the case here. GameStop doesn't need $1. Not $1. To run that company, it's like $400 million churning because they make a profit. I mean, it's ridiculous how small the company of GameStop is versus the cash pile they have. They could stop operating tomorrow and they never go bankrupt. That's how great it is. And now when you see them making a profit, $500 million, you see the cash on hand, it's going to be up to $11 billion. They're giving you the targets, guys. They're giving you targets to hit. You are now forming something that's undeniable. The one thing I've always said about the S&P 500, you ever want to get in, you have to be undeniable. It's not up for debate. It's not for discussion. It's not up for voting. You make the vote so lopsided to the point where they go, well, why wouldn't you put in GameStop when they make this much money, they have this much cash, and they're profitable? And look at this. We have institutional investors. People are buying in. They're expanding their percentage. You want to go ahead and buy the bonds? Maybe Ryan has friends that want to put more money in. And before you put in more money and dilute the next bond holder, you offer the warrants. Okay, this is all in succession. You go bond, now a warrant. Here is your reward for seeing us through, for seeing us benefit in value. We have tremendous bottom line increase. We have top line increases on revenue and products. And now we annualizing on these programs. There's proof of concept. It's working. And it's going to be this layered growth. I already told you guys this 100 times, but this is the true benefits of the bond. The bond is out there, and people came in big, billions of dollars. You guys saw that, $4 billion on the other side. You want to short the stock? You want to bet against it because you want to hedge yourself? Well, let me tell you how you hedge yourself. You hedge yourself with this warrant. You understand that you're actually going to go up and to the right. It's actually going to take a whole new plateau for the stock price of GameStop. Remember, we used to be a $10 stock. We are now 20 because we insulated ourselves with all of these ATMs. We did all these ATMs, all these institutional buyers. You think it's us? It's not retail. We don't have the money to move markets. I apologize, guys. I don't want to mislead you guys. Some people tell you, oh yeah, Reddit investors did this. Wall Street bets did. No, you don't. They have the billions of dollars. Now, Wall Street came in and insulated GameStop at 20 to 25 in that range. Guess what? The bonds came in, gave us that 28 to 29 plateau. GameStop says, hey, we want to revalue our stuff. Remember, we're not waiting for an analyst to give us a price target. We're not waiting for anyone to tell us what we're worth. We're going to tell you what we are worth. We're worth $32 a share. We're a $30 billion company, and value us that way. And then we'll do the multipliers as we release the cash. But as of today, this is what we should be. This is where we should be. So I think it's a target. They put it up there, real shiny. They want you to go grab it. So look at it. 59 million warrants coming out, guys. Only 59. That's not a lot. 59 million are coming out. They're going to trade, separate ticker. It's going to be volatile. People are going to buy warrants and not shares. I'm just letting you know because everyone's going to try to capitalize on the fact that the price is going up. And it will go up. GameStop's going to go up, and this is going to be the reason why. Because everyone will benefit from GameStop going up. Warrant holders, those are people that don't want to get dirty with the shares. You missed out on shares. You want to exercise at 32 as this thing goes up and creates true value. You will find it. GameStop's true value is well north of $32. S&P 500, it's on its way. And GameStop, well, they just executed the greatest day on Friday, yesterday, that they've ever done in business. Billions with an S. I'll see you guys around. GameStop, Marantz, YouTube. Guys, I buy it every day, or at least I try to. I got 1,351 shares, and I'll keep going. I'll see you around, millionaires. Peace.